وقال علي لأبي يا رسول الله أخبرني ما لجلوسنا هذا تحت الكساء من الفضل عند الله. فقال النبي صلى الله عليه وآله والذي بعثني بالحق نبي واصطفاني برسالة نجي وما ذكر خبرنا هذا في محفل من محافل أهل الأرض وفيه جمع من شجر ومحبين لو نزلت عليهم الرحمة وهفت بهم الملائكة واستغفرت لهم لا يتفرقوا. فقال علي عليه السلام وإذا والله فزنا وفاز الشتنا ورب الكعبة. فقال أبي رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله يا علي والذي بعثني بالحق نبي واصطفاني برسالتي نجي وما ذكر خبرنا هذا بمحفل من محافل أهل الأرض وفيه جمع من شيتنا ومحبين وفيهم محموم لو فرج الله همه العين ولا مغموما إلا كشف الله غمه العين ولا طالب حاجة إلا قضى الله حاجته. فقال علي عليه السلام وإذا والله فزنا وسعدنا وكذلك أشياءنا فاز وسعدوا في الدنيا والآخرة ورب الكعبة.
امام زمانہ صلوات. فدا ہوں اس پہ سلامی ہے جس کا نام حسین. فدا ہوں اس پہ سلامی ہے جس کا نام حسین. میرا معین میرا آقا میرا امام. میرا معین میرا آقا میرا امام حسین. سبا کو بھیج کے روزے پہ کر رہا ہوں دعا. کریں قبول الہی میرا سلام. کریں قبول الہی میرا سلام حسین. نہ پوچھو تھا وقت کیسا جو چل مدینے سے چلے ہر ایک کا لیتے ہوئے سلام. چلے ہر ایک کا لیتے ہوئے سلام حسین. سنا نہ آئے کسی سنگ دل نے لاکھ کہا رسول کا ہوں نواسا ہے میرا نام. رسول کا ہوں نواسا ہے میرا نام حسین. فدا ہوں اس پہ سلامی ہے جس کا نام حسین. اللہم صلی اللہ علیہ وسلم.
ابالو صاحب سے درخواست ہے کہ مرثیے کے لیے تشریف لے آئیں.
فاتحہ. کہ کربلا سے اسیر ستم چلے سجاد سر برنا بدرد و علم چلے روتے سروں کو پیٹتے پابند غم چلے زینب نے لاش شہ سے کہا بھائی ہم چلے زینب نے لاش شہ سے کہا بھائی ہم چلے ارے مرنے سے آپ کے میں یہ ایزا اٹھاتی ہوں دربار میں یزید کے سر ننگے جاتی ہوں دربار میں یزید کے سر ننگے جاتی ہوں ہائے ہائے میرے مسافر کرب و بلا حسین ہائے ہائے میرے غریب میرے ملقا حسین ہائے ہائے تجھے نہ پانی کا قطرہ ملا حسین ہائے ہائے تمام تن تیرا ٹکڑے ہوا حسین ہائے ہائے تمام تن تیرا ٹکڑے ہوا حسین پیاسے گلے پخنجرے بیداد چل گیا ہائے ہائے تڑپ تڑپ کے تیرا دم نکل گیا ہائے ہائے تڑپ تڑپ کے تیرا دم نکل گیا لینین والی کی بذات تجھے ملی اے کربلا خدا کی امانت تجھے ملی اے خاک میری ماں کی ریاضت تجھے ملی لے اے زمین شمع امامت تجھے ملی دامن تیرا بھرا میری کھیتی اجڑ گئی سرحد میں تیری بھائی سے زینب بچھڑ گئی سرحد میں تیری بھائی سے زینب بچھڑ گئی یہ کہہ کے سر کو پیٹ کے روئی وہ دل جلی آ کر نجف سے حال میرا دیکھو یا علی گردن رسان میں آپ کی بیٹی کی ہے بندی کہتے یہ ماریا سے وہ بات چشمے تر چلی ہائے ہائے میں کربلا مولا میں لوٹ گئی پردیس میں آ کے برادر سے چھوڑ گئی پردیس میں آ کے برادر سے چھوڑ گئی مہماں بلا کے ہم سے دغا کی لینوں نے کیا کیا نہ ہم پہ جور و جفا کی لینوں نے کچھ بھی ذرا نہ شرم و حیا کی لینوں نے گردن جفا سے شکی جدا کی لینوں نے خیمے جلا کے اہل ستم شاد ہو گئے ہم کربلا میں آن کے برباد ہو گئے ہم کربلا میں آن کے برباد ہو گئے جب لٹ کے کربلا سے اسیر ستم چلے
اب میں ہمارے قابل احترام مہمان عالم دین حجت الاسلام والمسلمین مولانا ظفر عباس صاحب سے درخواست کرتا ہوں کہ ممبر پہ تشریف لائیں اور مومنی سے خطاب کریں.
رحم اللہ من یقرأ الفاتحہ. اعوذ باللہ من الشیطان اللعین الرجیم. بسم اللہ الرحمن الرحیم. الحمد للہ رب العالمین والصلاة والسلام والتحیۃ والاکرام علی النبی الامی العربی القرشی المکی المدنی الہاشمی صاحب قاب قوسین محبوب رب المشرقین والمغربین جد الحسن والحسین النبی الحرمین والامام القبلتین والرسول الثقلین الذین سمی فی السماء بأحمد وفی الارض بأبی القاسم محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المظلومين المنتخبين المنتجبين لا سيما بقية الله في الأرضين روح وأرواح العالمين لتراب مقدمه الفداء واللعنة الدائمة الباقية على أعدائهم ومنكر فضائلهم وغاصب حقوقهم أجمعين. أما بعد فقد قال الله سبحانه تبارك وتعالى في محكم كتابه ومتقن خطابه. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الله لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم لا تأخذه سنة ولا نوم له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض من ذا الذي يشفع عنده إلا بإذنه يعلم ما بين أيديهم وما خلفهم ولا يحيطون بشيء من علمه إلا بما شاء وسع كرسيه السماوات والأرض ولا يعوده حفظهما وهو العلي العظيم. لا إكراه في الدين قد تبين الرشد من الغي فمن يكفر بالطاغوت ويؤمن بالله فقد استمسك بالعروة الوثقى لا انفصام لها والله سميع عليم. رسائل صلوات على محمد وعلى for the honor of Shuhada of Karbala recite another salawat ala Muhammad wa to hasten the reappearance of our awaited Imam recite a third loud salawat ala Muhammad wa wajil faraja. Today is our fourth discussion entitled Imam Hussain alayhi salam in his own words. And we mentioned, or we left off yesterday, of the first point of the meeting with Imam Hussain alayhi salam with Hur and what ensued at that first meeting. Then the sermon that Imam alayhi salatu salam delivered, and then the second sermon that he delivered. And the summary from all of those words of the Imam alayhi salatu salam was that his purpose, his message, what he was trying to do was to bring reform, change, positive change into society. And in order to do that, he had to stand up and face opposition from other people. And most notably, the opposition was from Yazid and his followers. But he keeps on emphasizing every time he delivers, conveys these words, he keeps on emphasizing the reasoning behind his actions. So like I said, we want to understand what he does, but we also want to understand why he does what he does. So in all of these speeches that I shared with you yesterday, Imam alayhi salatu salam is saying that the reasoning for me doing this is because I want people to be good people. I want there to be good in society. I want people to act well with themselves and with other people. And I want them to stay away from the evil, stay away from that which is wrong. And that is my responsibility as the Imam to do and to help people who call on me. So now that Imam Hussain alayhi salam is no longer going towards Kufa, Hur and his followers have come with the Imam alayhi salatu salam, and they've reached a place outside of Karbala. Again, this part of the story is the story that you frequently hear in the Masayib on the second day of Muharram. That Imam Hussain alayhi salatu salam reaches outside of Karbala, and at this time, so from this moment where Hur has met him all the way up to when he comes to or arrives just outside of Karbala, Hur is accompanying him. They're traveling in the desert together. That's forces of Hur, 1,000 people with him, and the people with Imam Hussain alayhi salam. When Imam alayhi salam reaches this place, as you have heard and know, that when Imam Hussain alayhi salam reaches this place, his horse refuses to go any further. So he changes the horse, and some narratives state that he changes the horse 7 times. He changes 7 different horses, but none of them go forward, they go proceed. So Imam alayhi salam comes down from the horse and he says, find out from the people who are living in this area, what is this place called? So many different names have been mentioned, and there are many names of this place. So for example, he asks somebody and one person says that this is called Ghadariya. And then he asks, he says, is there another name? And somebody else says this is called Shattul Furat, the place next to Furat. So Imam alayhi salam says, is there any other name? And somebody says it's also called Nayanava. So, but people keep on mentioning names, and Imam alayhi salam is adamant, he's insistent that there is some other name. And one of the narratives states that there in that area there's a person who's very old, he can't get up. So somebody brings him, holds him from both sides and brings him to Imam Hussain alayhi salam. And Imam alayhi salam says to him, is there any other name of this place? And he says that yes, I heard my ancestors calling this place Karbala. And then he adds, he says, Ya Ibn Rasulullah, if this is the place that you want to stop, then I recommend that you go somewhere else and stay. So Imam Hussain alayhi salam says, why? He says that every single person who's passed through this place, some kind of calamity, some kind of musibah has come onto them. Every single person. It's not the discussion today, but we have rawayat that every single prophet of Allah goes through this land, visits this place. When they go there, they suffer some kind of injury, they start bleeding, and then they pray, they say to Jibreel, Jibreel, what's happened? Why is it that as soon as we came in this place, some kind of calamity happened to us, we got injured, we got hurt, and we started feeling some sorrow in our hearts? And so Jibreel comes down with revelation and says that, Ya Nabi Allah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that this place is Karbala, where the grandson of the final prophet will be killed. And so every person who passes through this land will face some kind of sorrow, some kind of calamity, some kind of musibah, for them to feel what a fraction of what Imam Hussain alayhi salam will go through on the day of Ashra. So now, just at this place where Imam Hussain alayhi salam has arrived, all of these details that I've given you is to give you the context of where Imam Hussain alayhi salam has reached, and these are the things that you already know and you heard many times before. Now Imam Hussain alayhi salam reaches this place, and at this place he says something very important, which is going to give us insight into the why of Karbala. So he says that this is the place which is the place of Karb, which means sorrow, and Bala, which means affliction. And when these two words come together, this place is called Karbala. And so Imam Hussain alayhi salam says, this is the place, this is the land, this is the place which was promised by me to my grandfather Rasulullah. And my grandfather Rasulullah told me that, Ya Hussain, you're going to go to this place, to this land, and you're going to be killed here. You're going to be kept thirsty, then you're going to be killed. And then he told me all the details of what's going to happen. So Imam Hussain alayhi salam says this to the old person as well. He says, this is the place that I've promised my grandfather Rasulullah, that I'm going to come here and I'm going to be killed here, and this is what's going to happen to all of my family members, and then this is what's going to happen to the people who survive after me. So this sermon, this statement from Imam Hussain alayhi salam is telling us that what happens at Karbala what happens on the 10th of Muharram on Ashura is not an accident. It's not something that happened because there was no other options, or Imam Hussein ﷺ was able to, or he should have, for example, some people say that he should have done dialogue with Yazid, and why didn't he use dialogue with Yazid, and why is it that this happened at Karbala? So first of all, Imam Hussein ﷺ is saying that, look, this matter, this point that this happened as an accident is not the case. This is something that is going to happen irrespective of what happens. Now, to understand this point is very important, and a slightly difficult point as well. Why? Because somebody might use this point to say then that Yazid can't be blamed because this was already going to happen. So this is also a very important point to understand, that yes, Rasulullah has promised this is going to happen. Imam Hussein ﷺ knows this is going to happen. But, very important, the person who carries out the crime cannot be absolved of responsibility. The person who carries out what is going to happen is not absolved of responsibility. Why? Because that person till the end, the last moment, Imam Hussein ﷺ is giving him the chance that you can save yourself. Imagine that on the 10th of, I'm not reading the Masai, but I want you to understand this point, because it's very important to understand this point in order to understand what Imam Hussein ﷺ is about and why it's so important. That on the 10th of Muharram, on the day of Ashura, when everybody's been killed, and some of our narrations of Maqatil mentioned that Imam Hussein ﷺ made this call more than once. But let's say he only made it once, the famous time that you all hear and know and hear and are aware of in the Masahib, is the moment when all the men are killed and Imam Hussein ﷺ stands on Tilla Zainabiyya and he says, Hal min nasirin yansuruna, hal min mughithin yughithuna. What does this mean? What does this sentence mean? That is there anybody to help me? Is there anybody to come to my aid? Does Imam Hussein ﷺ need help from anyone? Imam Hussein ﷺ doesn't need help from anyone. In fact, angels come to help him. He says, I don't need help from you. Jannat come to help him. He says, I don't need help from you. So that means Imam Hussein ﷺ is not in need of help from anyone. If he wanted to take help, he would take help from the angels and from Jannat. But he doesn't. He says that I don't need help from you. So then why is it that after all the men have been killed, now he is saying, Hal min nasir yansuruna, is there anybody to help me? So what this means is not, is there anybody to help me? It means, is there anybody to help me? Because if you help me, you're going to help yourself. If you help me, you're going to help yourself. If you help me, it's not going to be a help to me. I'm giving you the chance that even after all of the men have been killed and only the baby is left, you still have the chance to save yourself. Imagine, after all of this, after everything, all the men have been killed, only the baby is left, and Imam Hussein ﷺ is saying that, is there anybody to help me? That if you help me, you're going to help yourself. So I still want you to be saved even at this stage of the day. Right? So Imam Hussein ﷺ is saying that, look, yes, my coming to Karbala, my being shaheed in Karbala is a destined thing. This is to understand what does Tawheed mean in the school of Ahlul Bayt. That, yes, my coming here, my being killed is destined, but you, all of you individuals who've gathered here, it's not just Hur who can save himself. All of you can save yourselves. But you have to make that difficult decision, that choice. Yes, not only Hur and his brother and his son, they saved themselves. But Imam Hussein ﷺ's offer is not just for Hur, it's for everyone. So when he's saying Hal min nasirun yansuruna, he's saying come and help me to help yourself so that you can save yourself from destruction, from being the ones who are guilty of my killing. Recite salawat ala Muhammad wa ala. So now he says at this moment in time, he says that look, he reminds the people, this is before reaching Karbala, now we're coming back. So before he's entered into Karbala, he's saying this, that look, my responsibility is that Rasulullah has promised me this place. I have promised him that I'm going to come to this place. My responsibility is to preach that which is right, to prevent that, to speak against that which is wrong and evil. So, if I do that which is right and prevent that which is evil, that's my responsibility, even if that comes at the cost of my life, even if that comes at the cost of my family member, whatever cost it comes, this is what I need to do. And this obligation, of course, for example, for every obligation we mentioned, and you know that for every obligation there are some conditions. And if those conditions are not there, then that obligation is not in place. For example, it has to be the holy month of Ramadan for the obligation of fasting. If it's not the holy month of Ramadan, there's no obligation for fasting. It has to be the time for prayer. When the time for Maghrib comes, then I can pray the Maghrib prayer. I can't say the Maghrib prayer before the time. Similarly for all the other prayers. Similarly for all the other acts of obligation. Similarly for all the wajibat. And so too is the case for Amr bil Ma'roof and Nahy anil Munkar as well. That there are some conditions. So in these conditions for you and I, ordinary people, these conditions are what? For example, that if I know that somebody is not going to listen to me, then it's not my obligation to tell them that you have to do this or you shouldn't do this. My obligation is only to the extent that I know that this person is going to listen to what I'm going to say. So, how come Imam Hussein alayhi salam, when he knows that they're not going to listen to him, he still does it? So there's a difference between the ordinary person and the Imam. For the ordinary person, yes, the obligation is only for the person who's going to listen to me. But for the Imam, the obligation is in all scenarios, in all cases. Because if the Imam stays silent, then how would people know what is right and wrong? Therefore, it's the responsibility and obligation on the Imam that even at the cost of his life, even when people are not going to listen to him, he has to stand up and say this is right and this is wrong. Even in that scenario, there's no taqiyya, there's no discharging of obligation, there's no releasing of obligation on the Imam, because he's leading the people, and people need to know what is right and wrong in all scenarios, in all situations. Secondly, Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wassalam, Masalli ala Muhammadin wa is emphasizing at every point of the journey that he does not want there to be fighting. At every point of the journey. At this point where he reaches just outside of Karbala, the Hur ibn Yazid al-Riyahi says that I have to send a message to Ibn Ziyad, because he sent me that either you kill Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam, or you get the allegiance, and in all cases you are not to allow him to enter into Kufa. So Hur says I have to inform him that what I'm doing, where I'm taking you, where have we reached. So Zuhair ibn Qayn, who's joined Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam, maybe inshallah tomorrow we'll mention that in detail, that he's joined Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam just before the reaching to Karbala. And he's so important in the story of Karbala that even though he's joined so late, he's the commander of the left side of the army. The right side of the army is commanded by Habib ibn Madahir on the day of Ashura, and the left side is commanded by Zuhair ibn Qayn. So Zuhair says that Ibn Rasulullah says to the Imam that rather than we wait that if he sends a message to Ibn Ziyad, and if he sends a message to Ibn Ziyad, then he's going to bring more people. He's going to invite more forces to join him. Then we should fight them now, and in this moment we're able to fight them because there's a manageable number of people in the opposition. So Imam Hussain alayhi salam says to Zuhair that you're right, but I don't want to initiate the fighting. I'm not going to initiate the fighting. I'm not going to start the fighting. This is the seerat of Rasulullah and the seerat of all of the Imam alayhi salam. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ala that the Ma'soom never initiates, never starts the fighting. Rasulullah in all the battles would wait for the enemies to strike. Imam Amirul Mu'mineen alayhi salam, recite salawat ala Muhammad wa ala. In all the battles, even he's gone against Amr ibn Abdul, the bravest person of the time. He's gone up against Marhab. But in all the battles, he always used to give them the three options. Either you accept Islam, or you leave the battlefield. If you don't accept these two options, then you initiate the fighting. In all the battles. So Imam Hussain alayhi salam is saying that, look, if you want to know who's the warith, who's the inheritor of Rasulullah, and who's the inheritor of Amirul Mu'mineen alayhi salam, you look at the way that they used to practice and see who does what they do in their lives. See who is the one who acts in the same way as Rasulullah and Amirul Mu'mineen alayhi salam used to act. So Imam Hussain alayhi salam says to Zuhair that I'm not going to initiate the fighting. So these 2 points at this stage are very important. That Imam Hussain alayhi salam says, this is the hadith of Rasulullah, that I'm promised this place. Recite salawat. My mission statement from the first day that I left from Medina to reaching Karbala is the same. أريد أن آمر بالمعروف وأنهى عن المنكر. That was what he said on the first day when he was leaving from Medina, and this is what is the case until today. There's no change in the mission statement. There's no change in the purpose of the battle, of the journey. In other words, this message from Imam Hussain alayhi salam is what? Is that if there was somebody else, even one person, who was doing Amr bil Ma'roof and Nahy anil Munkar, then I wouldn't have to come to Karbala. But it shows that within 50 years of the Prophet passing away, there's not even a single person willing to do Amr bil Ma'roof and Nahy anil Munkar. Imam alayhi salatu wasalam's repetition of this at every point is a message that there's not even a single person who's able to do this. And question might be asked then, that if Imam Hussain alayhi salam did what he did, and even after that, yes, religion of Islam got saved, but what Yazid was doing, people are doing that today as well. So what difference did it make what Imam Hussein alayhi salam did, what difference did it make, then this is the difference it made. Recite salawat ala Muhammad wa ala. The difference that it made is that Yazid wanted people to accept that whatever he was doing was Islam. That drinking alcohol is Islam. Putting monkeys on the pulpit, the mimbar of Rasulullah, is Islam. Having dance and all of these other things which are haram, all of these things are Islam. Imam Hussein alayhi salam, by giving his life, what has he done? He said to the whole ummah, the whole nation, and to everyone till the day of judgment, that yes, people will still be doing that. There are still Muslims who drink alcohol. There are still Muslims who do all kinds of wrong things. But nobody can say that this is Islam. Even the person who's doing it is forced to acknowledge that what I'm doing is wrong. Even the person who's doing it is forced to acknowledge that this action that I'm doing, this thing is haram, it's wrong. The only reason that that person is forced to acknowledge that this is haram is because of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Recite salawat ala Muhammad wa ala. So by doing this, Imam Hussein alayhi salam is forcing everyone to acknowledge that yes, what Yazid wanted, he couldn't get it. Right? Yesterday we mentioned that Yazid wanted the bay'at, so he couldn't get it. But he also wanted to make this to be acceptable in Islam. And if this is the message of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, then the message is that yes, it can be everything. Anyone can do it. But it can't be acceptable in Islam. It can't be acceptable. It's not something that is right in Islam. And therefore, Majalis of Sayyid al-Shuhada should also be a reminder that for whatever is wrong in society, the Majalis of Sayyid al-Shuhada would continue to call out that which is wrong and preach that which is right. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ala. Now Imam Hussein alayhi salam, when he arrives at Karbala, he delivers another sermon. And in this sermon, he says a sentence which is very famous and quoted a lot, attributed to Imam Hussein alayhi salam. It was delivered when he arrived in Karbala. So in this sermon, first of all, he introduces Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam. He reminds people again that who are Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam, who is he, what is his relationship with the Holy Prophet of Islam, so on and so forth. And then he says in this sermon that An-nasu abidud dunya, the people are slaves of this world, slaves of dunya. And religion, what is religion for them? Religion is only there to make a good taste on their tongue. And when there's adversity, when there's difficulty, then the people following the religion are very few. People are slaves of this, and nasu abidu dunya. People are slaves of the world, of the dunya. And religion is only on their tongues. In other words, they say that we are Muslim. They say that we believe. But in reality, that belief is not there. And it's only you only find out when there's difficulty, because when there's difficulty, then the people who are actually following the religion are very few. This, of course, is a general statement. It's a general commandment. It applies to each and every one of us in every time. We all know that when there's difficulty and there's need, then the people who are of religion, the people who are following the religion, are always very few. But it is a specific statement for that time as well. And that Imam Hussain alayhi salatu wasalam wants to tell us that there are some notable people at that time, during the time of Imam Hussain alayhi salam, who are considered very religious. For example, at that time, at the time of Imam Hussain alayhi salam, is Abdullah ibn Zubair. We mentioned him in the first Majalis. He is in Medina. And then there is Abdul Rahman ibn Abi Bakr. Then there is Abdullah ibn Umar. All of these people are seen as very religious people. But at that end, Abdullah ibn Abbas. And no doubt, for example, Abdullah ibn Abbas is a cousin of the Holy Prophet. He's a cousin of Amirul Mu'minin alayhi salam. He's a Mufassir of the Holy Quran. He's narrated ahadith. Abdullah ibn Umar is also one who narrates a lot of ahadith. Abdullah ibn Zubair also narrates a lot of ahadith. So they're seen as people who know Quran, who know hadith, who know the religion. But Imam Hussain alayhi salam is saying that when it comes for difficulty, then all of these people during the time of the event of Karbala are silent, absent from history. There's no record of them saying anything against Yazid, speaking out against Yazid, at least saying that what's happened, that Yazid, someone like Yazid has become the Khalifa, is something that's wrong. No statement. Even after, so this is before the killing of Imam Hussain alayhi salam. Even after the killing of Imam Hussain alayhi salam, there's no record that any of these people protested, said that why is it that the grandson of the Holy Prophet of Islam, why is it that the one for whom so many ahadith of the Holy Prophet of Islam were narrated, for whom Rasulullah says Al-Hasan wal-Husayn Sayyida Shabab Ahl al-Jannah, for whom Imam Hussain alayhi salam, for whom Rasulullah says Al-Husayn minni wa ana min al-Husayn, for whom Rasulullah says Inna al-Husayna misbahul huda wa safinatul najah. All of these narrations are narrations that people know about. They are narrated by all the people at that time. Yet, these notable people who are known to be religious, they are silent. They have nothing to say regarding their, either before Imam Hussain alayhi salam goes to Karbala, whilst he's at Karbala, and even after Imam Hussain alayhi salam has been killed. So for example, yes, there are some people in Kufa, for whatever reason, who aren't able to find out, who aren't able to join Imam Hussain alayhi salam at Karbala. Even they, after the killing of Imam Hussain alayhi salam, come out. Sulaiman ibn Surd al-Khuzai leads the Tawwabun movement after the event of Karbala. And yes, they get killed. Or Mukhtar leads a revolt against the Umayyad Caliphs, or after him Zayd ibn Ali leads a revolt against the Umayyad Caliphs. But these people, prominent people at the time of Imam Hussain alayhi salam, are silent. They don't say anything. So question is that whatever is the blame on the people of Kufa, and inshallah tomorrow, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us tawfiq, we'll mention the details regarding Kufa, the history of Kufa, and this claim and this matter that we need to resolve, that who are the people of Kufa and who are the people who killed Imam Hussain alayhi salam. But question remains that these people who are the religious people, inhabitants of Mecca and Medina, where were they and what were they doing at the time when the event of Karbala? Where were the people in Mecca and Medina when Imam Hussain alayhi salam was being killed? They remained silent, and their silence does not even benefit them. Their remaining silence does not even benefit them. Why? Because after the event of Karbala, the first thing that is ordered by Yazid is to have a destruction of the city of Medina. In that destruction of the city of Medina, I'm giving you a summary of that. In the 3 days of the destruction, ransacking of the city of Medina, people are killed, women are raped, and the masjid of the Holy Prophet of Islam is used as a stable. Horses are tied up in the masjid for 3 days. One of those days was a Friday, and there was no Friday prayer because the horses were tied up in the masjid. And people were killed, they were raped, women were raped. 1,000 illegitimate children were born as a result of those rapes. And after all of that, the governor from Yazid took a bay'at, a oath from all of the people that we are the slaves of Yazid. So, like when you remained silent and you didn't say anything for Imam Hussain alayhi salam, this is what happened. Then next he went to Makkah, towards Makkah. When they went and they arrived, they started the destruction of killing people in Makkah, and then the destruction of Kaaba. In order to save his life, Abdullah ibn Zubair came inside Masjid al-Haram and he was killed inside Masjid al-Haram. Imam Hussain alayhi salam had said, I don't want to be killed inside Masjid al-Haram. Abdullah ibn Zubair is killed inside Masjid al-Haram. And this, as a summary, is a realization that when there's injustice and you stay quiet, then eventually that injustice will catch up with you. Just because it's not happening to me today doesn't mean it will not come to me one day. And this is the message from Imam Hussain alayhi salam, that when something goes wrong, when something is wrong is happening, the first instance you have to stand up and say something wrong is happening, because if you don't, then it will reach you no matter where you hide. And the people of Makkah and Medina who remained silent, or in their view remained neutral, also got affected by the oppression of Yazid. Eventually, if they had been killed, so they got killed and they got tortured, and all of this happened. If they had been killed with Imam Hussain alayhi salam, it would have been with honor, with dignity. And in this scenario, they got killed, and it was with humiliation. This is why in this sermon also Imam Hussain alayhi salam's famous statement is that you all know. Usually when we go in the julus, we have it written on the banners that death with dignity is better than life in humiliation. Is better than life with humiliation. That is also mentioned here because he's saying that, look, you're all going to die one day, but you die with humiliation. As the people of Makkah and Medina do, they die with humiliation, whereas the people with Imam Hussain alayhi salam die with honor. And this is the message, that if you stand up for the truth, it will be difficult, but وَلِلَّهِ الْعِزَّةِ جَمِيعًا. Honor is with Allah. All of the honor, Jami'a, is with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. and representative of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will teach us what does it mean for there to be honor, for there to be Islam. Even if that means to be killed. And how strong the resolve of the people every day. I've been mentioning the companions, and today I want to mention to you from the night of Ashura. That's how strong the iman, the resolve becomes if one understands that death with honor, there's nothing greater than. On the night of Ashura, Bibi Zainab Salamullah alayha is speaking with Imam Hussain alayhi salam. And she says, "Oh my brother Hussain, tomorrow is the day of Ashura. It's the day of fighting. Tomorrow there will be a battle. Inshallah, we'll mention the sermon that Imam Hussain alayhi salam gives on the night of Ashura tomorrow. But right now, Imam Bibi Zainab Salamullah alayhi is saying to Imam Hussain alayhi salam that tomorrow is the day of Ashura, it's the day of fighting. And you know that there were people in the time of your grandfather who came with him, and then when the fighting started, they would leave. There was the people in the time of our father Amirul Mu'mineen who deserted him. There were people in the time of our brother Imam Hassan al-Mujtaba alayhi salam, they also deserted him. So have you tested the people who are with you that tomorrow on the day of fighting they will not desert you? Allahu Akbar. This conversation is going on in the tent of Imam Hussain alayhi salam, and Habib ibn Madahir walks past. He hears the conversation. So he comes into the tent of the ashab, of the companions. And he says to them that this is what I heard. Now we have to prove that we would not leave Imam Hussain alayhi salam the way that people left him previously. Allah. We would not leave him the way that people left Rasulullah and the way that people left Amirul Mu'mineen alayhi salam. So he says to all the companions, he marches them all out. They all come out. And they come and they congregate in front of the tent of Imam Hussain alayhi salam. And then Habib ibn Madahir goes in. And he says that, Ya ibn Rasulullah, tomorrow is the day of fighting. And we are here to assure you that we would not leave you at this difficult time. We are here to assure you that we would not leave you in this difficult time. And Imam Hussain alayhi salam says, yes, I know. Then Habib ibn Madahir says, no, not like that. We want to prove that we would not leave you. So he brings Imam Hussain alayhi salam outside of the tent. And he says, Ya ibn Rasulullah, here are all the companions. And all of them are standing with their swords hanging on their necks. If you command us, then we would take off our heads right now. And if we were brought back to life, we would rather die 70 times in this way than to leave you at this time. Allahu Akbar. Zainab Salamullah alayha says, Imam Hussain alayhi salam says to Sayyidah Zainab Salamullah alayha, did you hear the resolve? Did you hear the resolve of the people that this is what's going to happen tomorrow? Allahu Akbar. These are the companions of Imam Hussain alayhi salam on the night of Ashura. Now day of Ashura is past, and I want you to recall on the first day that I mentioned the scenario, the scene in the city of Kufa. In the city of Kufa, Abdullah ibn Afif Azdi heard the sermon of Bibi Zainab Salamullah alayha. When he heard the sermon, he asked, this is what I mentioned on the first Majalis. Now I want to mention the Shahadat of Abdullah ibn Afif Azdi, and then I'll take your leave. He asks, when he asks, then he stands up and he says to Ibn Ziyad that what have you done, and how dare that you bring the daughter of Amirul Mu'mineen alayhi salam in this court? So they say, Ibn Ziyad says that kill him. When Ibn Ziyad says kill him, there's people from his tribe, the Azd tribe, in the court of Ibn Ziyad. They say, Ibn Ziyad, you can't kill him. He's the leader of our tribe. So Ibn Ziyad has to leave him. Then he goes home. He says, I'm leaving you because of these people. He goes home. There, when he goes home, he's attacked by the forces of Ibn Ziyad. So Ibn Ziyad sends people to his house. Where he sends people to his house, they attack him at his house. Abdullah ibn Afif had only one daughter. And I mentioned to you that he was made blind, one eye in the Battle of Jamal, the other eye in the Battle of Siffin. So he couldn't see. He only has one daughter. She is 10 years old. When the people come to attack him at his house, they say, she says to her father that I wish that I was a boy. Because if I was a boy, I would have been able to defend you from the people who are going to attack you. Now, I want you to observe how brave is Abdullah ibn Afif, even though he's old and he's blind. He says to his daughter, no problem. All you have to do is tell me from which side they're attacking me, and I will fight them. So Abdullah ibn Afif Azdi takes the sword, and she says to her father that they're attacking you from the right side, so he attacks the right side. Then she says they're attacking you from the left side, so he attacks the left side. In this way, imagine, in this way he manages to fight off the enemy. Allahu Akbar. There's a very important point here, and if I'm able to convey it, you would weep a lot. Whilst Abdullah ibn Afif Azdi is fighting and his daughter is giving him guidance about which way he's being attacked, nobody attacks the daughter. Why? Allahu Akbar. Why? Because it's mentioned that in the old Arabic culture, even before Islam, if a woman or a child came onto the battlefield, they would have been escorted off the battlefield and they wouldn't be harmed. So even though Abdullah ibn Afif is only fighting because his daughter is helping him, nobody attacks his daughter. Alas! On the night after the day of Ashura, even this old Arabic culture was forgotten. That they came to attack the women and the children defenseless even after killing all of the men. Allahu Akbar, ajrukum Allah. Then they brought Abdullah ibn Afif Azdi into the palace of Ibn Ziyad, and he says, Ibn Ziyad asks him, tell me about Fulan ibn Fulan, and what is your belief about him? And Abdullah ibn Afif says, what have you got to do with him? Ask me about you and your father and about Yazid and his father, and I'll tell you what I think of them. So he says, doesn't matter what you say and doesn't matter what you reply, we're going to kill you. Abdullah ibn Afif Azdi says that when I became blind in those battles, I had lost hope that I would never get shahadat. But today I'm happy that even after that I'm going to get shahadat today. Then they brought him, as they had brought people previously, onto the roof of the palace, and they killed him. Then they killed him and they threw his body from the roof of the palace, and they put his head on the spear on the door of the city of Kufa, so that when the people would pass, they would see this is the consequences of the one who stood up against the Khalifa, who stood up against Yazid in the love of Amirul Mu'mineen alayhi salatu wassalam. Ala wa la'natullahi ala al-qawmi al-zalimin wa sayalamu alladhina zalamu ayyamun qalabin yanqalibun. We pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the acceptance of our Majalis and for the forgiveness of our sins and the sins of our marhumeen, and to allow us to act according to the teachings of Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam and the ziyarat in our lifetimes and shafa'at in the next life. We pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect the followers of Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam wherever they are, in particular their lives, their honor, their dignity, their wealth and their families. And we pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to hasten the reappearance of our awaited Imam and to make us amongst those who serve him. رَبَّنَا تَقَبَّلْ مِنَّا إِنَّكَ أَنْتَ السَّمِيعُ الْعَلِيمُ بِحَقِّ مُحَمَّدٍ وَآلِهِ الطَّاهِرِينَ مَاتَمَ حُسَيْنٍ.
Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein. जब रिदा सर से छिनी मैं सदा देती रही, तू न आया गाजी। जब रिदा से छिनी मैं सदा देती रही, तू न आया गाजी। जब रिदा सर मैं सदा देती रही, तू न आले इमरान कहाँ और जिंदान कहाँ, ये बहन कैदी हुई, तू न आया। जब रिदा सर से चिनी मैं सदा देती रही, तू न आया। हमको पानी ना मिले तेरी खुशबू तो रहे, तेरे बाजू ना कटे चाहे मशकी जाची दे, ये मगर हो ना सका तेरे बाजू है जुदा। मुझ पे है तशना लबी, तू ना आया गाजी। जब रिदा सर से चिनी मैं सदा देती रही, तू न आया। धूप में तू था शजर, तुझसे आबाद था घर, है बरहना मेरा सर, क्या नहीं तुझको खबर। ऐ अलमदार वफा इस बहन को बाखुदा, तुझसे ढारत थी बड़ी, तू न आया। जब रिदा सर से छिनी मैं सदा देती रही, तू न आया। आ गई शाम अलम, लुट गए अहले हराम, रेत पर जलती हुई हो गया ठंडा आलम। पुरसा देने के लिए मुझसे मिलने के लिए आ गए बाबा अली, तू न आया गाजी। जब रिदा सर से छिनी میں صدا دیتی رہی کیوں نہ آیا غازی کیا کہوں شعر میرے بیردہ ہم کو لیے یہ مسلمان سارے شہر در شہر گئے خلقت کوفہ کبھی خلقت شام کبھی اور ہے ہم پہ ہنسی تو نہ غازی جب رضا سر سے چھنی میں صدا دیتی رہی تو نہ غازی کتنی بے باس تھی بہن اے شہنشاہ وفا نام لے لے کے میرا جب یہ غالب نے کہا ناز تھا جس پہ تجھے اب بلاؤ نہ اسے اور میں روتی رہی تو نہ آیا غازی جب رضا سر سے چھنی میں صدا دیتی رہی تو نہ آیا غازی قید خانے میں قضا جب سکینہ کو ملے دیکھے کرتے کا کفن بچی دفنائی گئے اس گھڑی نام تیرا صورت ناد علی دکھ میں دہراتی رہی رونا آیا غازی جب رضا سر سے چھنی میں صدا دیتی رہی رونا آیا غازی جب رضا سر سے چھنی میں صدا دیتی رہی دونا غازی آ گئی شام علم لٹ گئے اہل حرم ریت پر جلتی ہوئی ہو گیا ٹھنڈا علم پرسا دینے کے لیے مجھ سے ملنے کے لیے آ گئے بابا علی تو نہ آیا غازی جب رضا سے چھنی میں صدا دیتی رہی تو نہ آیا غازی قید خانے میں قضا جب سکینہ کو ملے دیکھے کرتے کا کفن بچی دفنائی گئے اس گھڑی نام تیرا صورت ناد علی دکھ میں دہراتی رہی تو نہ آیا غازی مولا حق امام یا حسن یا حسین مولا حق امام یا حسین یا حسین یا حسین وہ عابد بیمار تھا وہ عابد بیمار تھا چلنے سے جو لاچار تھا چلنے سے جو لاچار تھا اور شام کا بازار تھا اور شام کا بازار تھا اور مصطفیٰ کی بیٹیاں مولا حق امام یا حسن یا حسین مولا حق امام یا حسن یا حسین شبیر کی وہ لاڈلی شبیر کی وہ لاڈلی سینے پہ جو شاہ کے پلی سینے پہ جو شاہ کے پلی جس کے ابابن میں جلے جس کے ابابن میں جلے منہ پر تماچوں کے نشان مولا حق امام یا حسن یا حسین اللہم صلی اللہ
متوجہ زیارت یا
السلام علیکہ یا ابا عبداللہ السلام علیکہ یا ابن رسول اللہ السلام علیکہ وعلا جدکہ وابیکہ السلام علیکہ وعلا امکہ واخیک السلام علی جمیع شہداء کربلا خصوصاً سیدی یا مولا یا ابو الفضل العباس یا ابن امیر المؤمنین السلام علیکم ورحمۃ اللہ وبرکاتہ السلام علیکہ یا غریب الغرباء السلام علیکہ یا معین الضعفاء السلام علیکہ یا شمس الشموس السلام علیکہ یا انیس النفوس ایہا المدفون بعرض توس السلام علیکہ یا سلطان عرب والعجم علی ابن موسیٰ الرضا السلام علیکم ورحمۃ اللہ وبرکاتہ السلام علیکہ یا صاحب العصر والزمان السلام علیکہ یا خلیفۃ الرحمن السلام علیکہ یا شریک القرآن الامان 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 من فتنة الزمان السلام علیکہ یا امام زماننا هذا عجل اللہ تعالی فرجک وسهل اللہ تعالی مخرجک ودحورک السلام علیکم ورحمۃ اللہ وبرکاتہ
مومنین مرکزی امام بارگاہ المرتضیٰ میں نماز مغربین باجماعت ہو رہی ہے مولانا کی اقتداء میں اور ٹھیک نماز کے بعد جو ہے وہ بغیر کسی انتظار کے مسجد شروع ہو جاتی ہے آپ لوگوں سے پابندی وقت کی درخواست ہے اس میں
Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad salawat. Brothers, if you can pay attention to a small and a special announcement.